Okay, I am going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for your interest in my latest book, The Abyss is Staring Back. This one is out with Quarencia Press, anywhere books are sold. So that's Amazon Bookshop, Barnes and Noble, like all your sort of major online booksellers, which is exciting. So I'm gonna read a bunch from Abyss, and I'm gonna read like a little bit from two other books, two of my earlier books actually, just because I think it's kind of fun sometimes to do that. So the first piece I'm gonna read is actually the first piece in the book. And that one, the title kind of goes with the piece. So I'm just gonna give you the whole piece. I have a lot of questions. What do you do when the abyss stares back? What do you do when you no longer have a Joker origin story, but a Joker origin trilogy? Why are my feet so firmly planted on broken earth? Why was I bred during the years where the world kept inventing more ways to break your heart? What would baby blonde me and a polyester plaid jumper say if I told her my first love and I used to fight in public online? That I'd never have met my college partner if not for an anonymous question on my blog? That I've lived with someone who started out a stranger on the internet? Does the moon change phases in the night sometimes? Is it possible that the waxing crescent I saw when the sun first went down has swelled up before my eyes so minutely that I've just noticed it now? Whether or not this can happen to the moon, can it happen to other things, like people you used to love? When you take a picture of the moon on your phone, you know how you can never capture the craters or glow the way they actually look? Do you know that everyone I've let love me is shied even further away from my camera than the moon? Do you think that's why no one has ever believed I could choose wisely, because I didn't have anything to show for it? Is it stupid to compare a lover to the moon, knowing he'll never be as graceful, as silent, or as steady? Is it worth letting anyone see my collection of pixelated photos of a shadow blurred with moonlight? Will the internet be what breaks the earth in the end? Can the internet break your heart too? Right. So I'm gonna move not totally through the book in order. I'm gonna jump around a bunch, but the next piece I'm reading is actually like just a couple pieces down from the one I just read. And this one is called Failed Self-Portrait as Link from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. The soundscape of a Baltimore summer is just the hum of a fan that never works well enough and can never be blotted out by any amount of dulcet woodwinds or Tarrytown rain. I wonder, though, do you think late life transness is sort of like when someone says to Link, you're actually Hylian, and the chimes ascend in celebration because it suddenly makes sense? And I'm really just asking this because I kind of felt like that when I read cis people don't gender swap in their daydreams. And I want to know if my prophecy is coming before I become entombed in the plaster of an efficiency apartment. Right. Next piece is a favorite of mine to read. It is called We Have Been Trying to Reach You About Your Body's Extended Warranty. So, you know, big time relatable title, I feel like. Welcome to my twisted ankles, which tear tendons from my heels and stretch my calves lutestring tight, flexed feet scraping cracked skin against silk sheets in vain efforts to mitigate my muscle tension. I'd suspect I was born to be the boneless girl I dragged through Adobe Flash bubbles in fifth grade study hall, were it not for the fact that sometimes cracking my neck makes me sick in a way that butter or cream never could. I could walk on rose petals for eternity to sate high-maintenance hammer toes, and my wrists would both still beg, snap me before the swelling bursts open, bitch. Don't you feel the shifts in your crooked bones, your jaw piercing your chin as your teeth abscess? I've so exceeded expectations of normal wear and tear that I can't help but aspire to splinter as a spruce would, pinprick gnarls in the heels of enemies. Cool. Moving right along. There's a couple of pieces in this book that are sort of part of a smaller series within the book. And I've done that mostly in threes. Because I just kind of like the number three. So I did a series of 3 of this type of poem, which is a free and for sale poem, which is kind of based on, like the free and for sale groups, especially specifically with like college Facebook groups, but like in general, just kind of like Facebook marketplace groups, etc. Since this is free and for sale, ISO wholeness. Hi, everybody. I am looking for the things I think are missing inside me because that's what everyone else cited as my fatal flaw. Not enough. Of what? I don't really know what I'm looking for, but I'm open to learning from everyone and anyone who looks my way exactly what is wrong with me. Hit me up if you can help with something like this and we'll make it work. Ooh. So this is another one that is kind of part of a series. This one is kind of based on the idea of an advice column. And it's sort of the idea is like go ask the void. So this is Void Speak Shattered. Shattered asks, are there some things you can run out of chances to fix? The void says, I know you are always mad at entropy. Its way of slowly snapping your plans in half like a cheap plastic ruler. It's chaos you could never plan for. I know it has splintered your tendons to nothingness in spots and made you sick at the mere thought of sweet cream in your stomach. I know you look at your body and see an unwieldy temple that should have been abandoned years ago, and some days you may even be right. Do you remember when you were in the 6th grade and really actually liked a boy? You went to a dance you thought he'd be at, and he never showed up. Your orchid pink Motorola Razr quit you that night too, and even though the tiny screen declared its internal airs fatal, you still kept it in the drawer under the microwave. Somehow it became a sentimental relic. So while a repair may be out of the question, didn't you still save that cell phone because there was still a hope within you that it could be possible at all? And so the next piece is kind of a sento, not really. It's I took it from Hinge, so I'm just gonna read this one, in which I download Hinge for the first time. We'll get along if you're a Christian, love sports, and are constantly joyful. Believe it or not, I have been hit in the face with a bowling ball. I'm actually legitimately bad at dating apps. Biggest risk I've taken, gas station sushi. I'm convinced that Avril Lavigne is dead, and somewhere in the mountains of Canada is a cloning facility churning out fake Avrils to throw us off the trail. We'll get along if you keep it 100 at all times. I'm convinced that Seth MacFarlane is the best artist of our generation. You should leave a comment if you have low standards. Never have I ever been to IKEA. I'm a regular at Bass Pro Shop. My most irrational fear, humpback whales. If loving this is wrong, I don't want to be right. Kanye West. I feel like I'm moving through these really quickly. Anyway. This one is a prose poem, and I'm just gonna read it. You may find yourself. I'm high and tired, and the list of things I care about is dwindling by the minute. I will wake up tomorrow sore-hipped, wrist bones wailing for giving in, but this sort of restless demands I abandon my prescribed posture pose and corkscrew my limbs until my body is a shore house to be swallowed by the sea. Sometimes I will wake between now and then, sometimes more than one time, and my throat will lurch through the kind of cough where you spit mucus like slugs, chip itself dry until I reach for a flat nightstand seltzer. When the last pieces have finally drifted again, my synapses will remember that I absolutely cannot help myself from being crushed by the sorrow of stasis. I will turn over, and instead of blinking away hours when the black of my vision splits into dots, I will face the flood that carried me here, no matter how high I've built my stilts or how many floors I've climbed. I will tread in riptides and remember I am not actually standing as still as I think I am. I'm just in the same place as always. So that piece starts the section Stasis 2. So the book is divided into 3 sections, Stasis 1, Flux, and Stasis 2. they're not really chronological so much as they are kind of just different moods. So yeah. Let me figure out what is next because I just lost my place a little bit. Cool. So this is just making sure that I am in the right place. Yes, I am. So this is soliloquy. And this is another one where I've kind of stolen like not lines, but I guess like these are conversations I've had with myself in writing elsewhere and kind of pulled into this piece. 1, I just got emotional about something stupid again. I hate being soft. Sometimes I think my life would be easier if I'd ever gotten the chance to be pure. Tragedy is such a constant, I don't know what childlike means. God, I just want to be wholesome for a day. 2, I don't want to talk to anyone, but I spend too much time inside my head. I need a shower. I need a life. 3, I would literally die to stop being sad like this. Oh. 4, I feel like it looks like I'm holding it together well. Does it look like I'm holding it together well? Do I give a fuck if it doesn't? Next I have who has a GPS map of hell I can borrow? I drive spindle-fingered through twilight in no hurry. There's no night sky where we're headed. There are only 2 types of acquaintances, people I root for, people I don't. People who went to festivals in high school to see bands I still haven't heard of, who didn't wear rain boots even though the sky always opened up onto the lawn at Merriweather Post Pavilion, who slid downhill in muck and cut off denim shorts. Envy drives me, not jealousy, that someone is kissing my boyfriend, that anyone is kissing at all, while I, Leon S. Kennedy, dash through a plague-ridden village with a Wiimote, seek the heat of regenerator masses through the scope of a rifle, tell my Spanish teacher I practice Spanish over break. Cogelo means go get him. Morir es vivir. To die is to live. And I'll be there soon, I swear. This is the last one I'm going to read from Abyss. This is kind of based on Stardoll, like the website where you could go dress up celebrities like as like virtual paper dolls, and has been kind of dear to me. It's been sort of a long time in the making. So this is In Which I Perforate. Something about gender euphoria and a newfound love for fashion at age 11 looks like thousands of screenshots of virtual paper dolls pasted into Microsoft Paint landscapes. My kind of little girl dragged boy clothes over girl dolls, sometimes finding fits, but also finding that bodies are only so fluid, even on screen where I can pretend I'm the Taco Bell guzzling mall goth of my dreams for a weekend. There wasn't a pair of brindled Uggs or a polo shirt embroidered with a moose or seagull that could make me girl enough for the schoolyard. Every shade of black and skulls I bought on clearance said, fuck you, preps, a little more. By summer vacation, I'd sealed it with a trim of perma-frizz dishwater hair from the small of my back to the folds of ear cartilage I'd pierced on a whim at 22. Paradise was painted in Lily Pulitzer palms when I was 5, and my best friend's mom said I was a winter, whatever that meant in the early aughts or before or after. I should have wanted pop star eyelashes and French-tipped fingernails, teen girl aqua pink, everything. When there was no version of Lady that fit her, my kind of little girl settled for sculpting her dream suit on Stardoll, then bought it a boy-bodied basketball jersey to wear with a pleated skirt and kitten heels in its bedroom. I said that was the last one I was going to read from Abyss, but there is one more I kind of want to read. So I'm going to read it. And this one is called Episodic Memory. And it is loosely based on the essay Assumptions by Richard Hugo, where he talks about like what assumptions that he brings into the process of writing poems about towns. And I kind of did the same thing, but with trauma. So I wrote a piece after a couple of my assumptions. I am the most loathsome weight to shoulder. I am the calamity responsible for ruins. a catastrophe by comparison to how I've broken down, by how termites hollow out wooden's foundations behind sheetrock and subfloor, only discovered once misplaced footsteps pull me through the kitchen floor. I was made like this. It is prophecy. God said fuck Nat Rom in particular. I am bound in my mother's arms in a private waiting room, eyes boring into ceiling tiles as the Lord abides the crack in my grandfather's voice telling us to call St. Mary's Church. I couldn't hope to forget every floor's fluorescent lights, flickering like trick candles for a vigil, nor every snag in carpet and crack in linoleum that trips me on my way to the elevator. Each night I will close my eyes and float in this chasm within myself until I wake. If not, I come to after visions of car crashes, shipwrecks, pulling away from embraces to find lovers past superseding lovers present. Eventually, there will be 24 or even 12 or 6 or 2 hours I remember every minute of. Until then, stasis covers my eyes and whispers, guess what? Still here. Yeah, that felt like a good one to end this book on. That one sums it up in kind of a lot of ways. So just a reminder, The Abyss is Staring Back is available from Quarentia Press, and pretty much anywhere books are sold. But there will be links down below. So I'm going to read one piece from my debut chapbook, Prep School for the End of the World. And then I'm going to read one from You Stupid Sluts. And so this is actually the first piece I wrote for this chapbook. It was originally published in Eclipse Zine. Yeah. Oddfellows Cemetery. My body is a bumper car in that I am destined to crash, like racing steam trains into ghost towns in the mountains, yearning to run, not walk, into the smoky ether. Right before the floor drops out, there's this part where the room is engulfed in flames, and I don't remember a bit of it after that, but it's been 15 years since I went on a thrill ride, and I'm still overcome by that vertigo twice a week at least. Back then, I couldn't scream loud enough, but I lost my voice that day, and I still think it's somewhere in that shaft. Anthracite mines burn in my hollows, deep space that can't help but breathe, preferring to smother instead. Still kept aflame by just a thread of continued breath tunneling beneath me. It seemed okay on the surface, but below the lithosphere there was always something lying in wait. I can bet on it. Cool. I'm gonna read a B-side from You Stupid Sluts. This is one I don't really read a whole lot. Actually, I don't think I've ever read this one ever. So yeah. This is Remnants of Tropical Depressions. In late July rain showers, I drag myself through broken glass, Vino Verde bottles crushed to shards of emerald on hot tar. Pop punk taught me I could stumble over sidewalk cracks and bust my nose in the drunken entropy of it all, and it wouldn't matter as long as I kept the hot in hot mess. I am more scum than shard after a certain point in the night. It doesn't have a set time or definite blood alcohol concentration, but I know that I'm there once the ache that spreads through me when I'm looking up and he's not looking at me. He's not looking at me. But there is tequila, and I can still parade past the pharmacy formerly known as the Hippo, warbling to lyrics to cuts so deep I learned them by heart in a week's time. And when the cherry on my spliff hisses away as tears fall into my lap, I am still thinking of how he looked at me and waking my phone again and repeating he just hasn't seen it yet. Cool. So that's that. And thank you for your interest again in The Abyss is Staring Back. Super appreciated. And if you are interested in my other 2 books, I will stick links in the description for those as well. Cool. Thanks, y'all. Bye.